So today we're talking about strategies for just effectively communicating your value. This is a real challenge for folks. And it shouldn't be. This should be something that should just come right off the tip of your tongue. And again, I think a lot of these things surround the elevator speeches like we've talked about, Army. We've got these things around the office for a reason. What's Army stand for, Leah?
Attentive, resourceful market experience, and it's all about you.
There you go. As you can read on the walls around our office. So, I mean, these are just good things to work with. The strategies for effectively communicating your value. We're going to talk about just commission scripts, seller objections, price objections and pricing presentation, and neighborhood lead generation. So right now it's a lot about sellers, because the more sellers we get, the old line is true. If you list, you last in this business. And so it's important to try and get those listings. All of these things are in app files that we're going to review today. And so look under your scripts and look under guides, and you'll find the information that we'll be covering. It's right at your fingertips all the time, guys. But sometimes you need to have a moment to stop and go, wait a minute. I need to acknowledge that they're there. I need to respond. I need to pivot and do it. So it's a sales technique. How do you overcome lead objections? This is right out of NAR. I'm going, oh, that's fine. So acknowledge, respond, and pivot. So if we're talking with somebody and they have a different thought process than us, the way to respond is to repeat back to them what they've said, and then pivot them towards what you want to be talking about. That's so important. And what kind of listening is that called again?
Active.
Is it just active listening where you actually repeat back to them and come back out? Yeah. It works well. Some people do it all the time. So since these are blown up from our stuff, it's going to be maybe a little bit blurry, but not bad. We reduce your commission. Does anybody ever get hit with this one? If you haven't, you will.
Oh, yeah.
So, we need to come out with, and this is going to go down that same trail. And the way I want you guys to think about this too, anytime we go over these, it's a format, it's a framework, it's a goal of things to shape your mind, and how you're going to present it yourself is up to you. My suggestion is you get in front of your husband, wife, whatever, or your own phone camera and video yourself and see if you'd want to work with you. Just saying, it's very, very powerful when you video yourself and you find yourself stumbling. It's like, oh my goodness, how did that happen? So ultimately, the reason you hire a professional real estate agent is to negotiate the best possible price for the sale of your home. Would you agree? This is always my line. Wouldn't you agree? I use that all the time because we're trying to get people to do this, and we're doing it. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. Your home's one of your largest assets. Yeah, but the thing is, can you roll these things off your tongue or something like this for yourself? If these other agents you've spoken with have demonstrated to you up front, they can't even negotiate their own commission. I mean, money that goes into their pocket. What makes you think they're going to work to negotiate the price of your house when that money goes into your pocket, not theirs? These are just obvious, simple statements that we can come out with. I mean, I don't even need to look at this thing because we wrote them, but it's just so obvious to me the way these things work. Hey Joe, look, I'm going to be tough on commission and even tougher on the sales price of your home. Now all we need to do is go ahead and get the paperwork done. Sign here. That would be kind of my technique, but we need to do our own. And if I was doing that, of course, if I had a written contract with me, I would put the contract in front of them like this and go, sign right there. Let's get to work. That's what you want, right? You want the home sold. Let's do it.
Yes.
And it's assertive, and it's a call to action again. It's a, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, easier to do that right in front of them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll send it to you online.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
email and press this button.
And some people do want to do it that way. They want to click, but I still believe in handwritten contracts.
Yeah.
I have people sign them all the time.
Yep.
Or you can bring your laptop with you and open it up right there in front of them and say, here, just sign here.
Yep.
And it's good to go. That works. Okay. Will you cut your commission if we list and buy through you? Yeah, this one's a little tougher. Because there are times when I'll do this. Let's start with that. But I won't do it on the list. I'll do it when you buy. I'll help with crediting some back to you to help out. Would that be appropriate? Would that be good for you? Because if you do it on the list, they may not use you for the buy.
Mhm.
They have best of intentions to do so.
Yeah.
But when it comes to money, people get funny. So, you know, I can understand that thought,
Yes.
right, is the way this is gonna go. And then I wanna be right up front with you and just say, no, I'm not gonna cut my commission. And there's one simple reason. Look, I'm a professional. My time has a certain value, as I'm sure you'll agree yours does. There are two transactions taking place here, each requiring a certain amount of time and effort from me, right? And if an agent, I'm sorry, I'm ad-libbing a little bit here, it's what I do. If an agent is willing to cut their commissions, that makes me a little nervous. Can I tell you why? Most time people, and you're going like this, can I tell you why? You know, if an agent doesn't have the courage to stand up to you regardless of his or her own worth, or regarding his or her own worth, how strong could they possibly be? So you're back to that part again, right?
Mhm.
Does this make sense to you? Wouldn't you agree? Just one of my friends is a great salesman, and his word is yes. Instead of wouldn't you agree, he's like, yes. And it seems odd at first, but it works for him. And he does it great. So, you know, you get him to say yes, and you say, terrific, let's go ahead and get started then. So, you know, now each one of these is a close. You're going for a close. And again, you know what, it drives me nuts when people say, well, real estate agents aren't salespeople. We're just showing people houses that they like. When they fall in love with them, we help them write a contract up. And it's like, no, they're telling you what they want and you're finding it. And then you're reminding them that that's what they want. And you're helping them to get that. And or same thing here. It's like, what's their motivation? So we'll probably get into some of those things too. So next approach, the or. It's the same thing. Will you cut your commission if I list and buy through you? I see what you're saying. You know, Joe, let me ask you a question. Do you want to list with an agent who gives you the best commission rate, or the agent you feel is the best qualified for getting your home sold for the highest price? And then be quiet. Give them a chance to answer. There's a lot of power in that short time period of silence. Okay? Cutting commission is something I won't do. I charge all my sellers the same, and I feel it's a good value for the services you'll receive from myself and or my team. And you know, you want to hire a skilled negotiator to achieve the highest price for your home sale, right? Wouldn't you agree? It's really not about commission, how much I'm making or how much I'm getting paid. It's really about how much I can get in your pocket, right? Right? Let's go ahead and get this paperwork done and get it sold. Let's get working. These are all excellent techniques and they continue. How about this one? Can you drop your commission? I can appreciate your thinking. You know, you can, because you're acknowledging them, right? The other thing you can say is, I understand that you're asking me to drop my commission, and you know, a lot of people may do that. People don't. A lot of agents don't even run their business as a business, which means they don't have the support necessary to guarantee your home will sell. And even more important, to remember than that is, they don't have the staff to even get the deal closed. They're working part-time. They work at Chick-fil-A most of the time, and they're really happy when you come in and see them in there. But in a standard market, remember, the percentage of homes that go on the market don't even sell is pretty high. And if you know that percentage in that neighborhood, that's very wise. Okay, so know the numbers in the neighborhood. Have you ever asked your doctor or attorney to cut their fees? If you did, wouldn't you be a little nervous if you knew they were cutting some of their services out when they cut their fee? You really want professional service, don't you?
Yeah, would you go to the courtroom without a lawyer?
Yeah, well, some people will. People are funny, but you know, it's good to point these things out. Or commission's always a concern, I understand. I wouldn't want to start off knowing that we were at an immediate disadvantage. I'm afraid that's what we're going to do if we trim the fee. Can I explain why? Well, if you were showing homes, would you be more likely to show ones that are paying you 2%, 3%, or 3.5%? And in there, I always throw in that, hey, let's face it, salespeople are greedy when it comes to this. They have to pay their bills, so they're looking to get the most for their rate, for their hourly time, right? Just like anybody else. Don't you think most agents are going to feel the same way? I pay competitive co-broker fees to attract the necessary traffic. If we bring in more traffic, we'll increase our potential for multiple offers. Isn't that what you're looking for? I mean, really, when we get those multiple offers, I can typically drive up what you're making, what goes into your pocket. What difference does it make that I'm making a decent commission as well? Why would you try to take that away from me? Let's go ahead and get started, right? And these go on. again, these are all in our app files, but it's fun to run through them because a lot of people don't understand, the negotiation side of what we do. And if we don't know these things and they don't just roll off our tongues, we flounder. Okay, I'm not saying you can't ever cut your rate to do something. I think that what you should do though is say, wow, our office is not a discount brokerage. Let me call my broker and see if I can do that.
Mhm.
And if you don't want to call or you don't want to drop your rate, it can simply be wouldn't let me. They think our value is much higher than that for what we do. But this is, again, it's all we do. This is how we support our families. I can see commissions are real concern. Here we go again. I'm firm on my fees because I run my business like a business as a professional would. This is the same thought process.
Mhm.
Go ahead and get started.
No.
Just, how about no? Let's go ahead and get started with this. A lot of people are looking for a no. It's the funniest thing.
Oh, yeah.
And you can tell by looking at people if they hesitate asking you.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard that some people work for less. Would you mind dropping your commission? You know, that kind of thing. You just say no. Why don't we go ahead and get the contract signed and let's get to work. And they're like, okay. I just wanted to ask. I'll tell my friend I asked, you know, or how work this. But try to say no to start with, guys. Don't do it. And it's a challenge now in our market because they're almost making the common rate somehow 2.5%. They're lowering the value of what agents do, which does lower the service that a lot of people offer. I still shoot for 3% to the buyer's agent. And if I take a 5% listing, oftentimes I'll take 2% and I'll pay out the 3%. And I'll let the people know that I'm working for, because it's like, hey, you know, bottom line is we want to get you the best show on things. And I'm only doing that because you're a very dear friend of mine. But this is the way it's going to work. Why wouldn't you just put 2.5% out there? I see people paying 2, and even somebody put 1% out there. I'm like, yeah, you see those discount brokerages that do that, and they're going to get you a discounted price for your home. I'm not going to do that to you. And most of the time people are like, never mind. Okay, 6% then. You know, it's fine.
Yeah.
And or the only discount I'll give is, you know what, if I get both sides of the transaction, even though I'm now going to be working both sides for you.
Yeah.
I do that for everybody anyway. I don't tell them that, but we do. A lot of people don't know what they're doing in this business. They've studied, they got their legal skills in place, but they do not know how to sell. They don't know how to do a transaction. And it's sad. And then they go to a discount broker again that pays them 100% and they have no training and they've got nothing and no support. It's like, oh my goodness. So you end up doing it all. But will you lower your commission if I get both sides? Then I could do it for 5% or 5.5%, 0.5%. Well, run the math out and run the math out with them so they can see what you're talking about. Okay. So again, another agent said he'd lower our commission. Can I tell you why that makes me nervous? Here we go again, right? It's just such a true thing.